That was Lost Boy by Whitechapel, and now Phil from the band has joined me. So welcome to Knotfest Daily. How are things going over there?
Not too bad. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Before we dive into the music, I have to ask, how are Max and Chicken doing?
They're good, really good. They're just hanging out with me here behind my chair in a little bed that they have here.
It's adorable. I have to say, I don't know someone who posts as much dog content as you. I love seeing it in the stories and everything.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're my BFFs.
Can't blame you. Mine is mine as well. I think I talk to my dog probably more than I do any other human, and I have to talk for my job, so that's saying something.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I talk to them all day.
Well, I know you also happen to love gaming a ton in your spare time, so I'd love to know what's the ultimate game for you, the one you've probably spent the most hours on.
Probably COD, to be
Okay.
honest. That or yeah, probably COD.
I love how
That's
you were
what I.
about to try to go for a second one, and you were like, nope.
Yeah, yeah. It's pretty much it. That's the one I've spent most. I've been playing it since I was in my, I think it was came out like around, I mean, even in my teenage years, like the real early
Right.
ones, but throughout my 20s and stuff, and well into my 30s as well. So
Very fun. Yeah, there's some I look back on that I've played for way too long, and I think, you know what, though? It was time well spent. Like, I enjoyed it, so I
oh,
don't take any of it back.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, I did mention how we have to dive into the music as your brand new album Kin will be unleashed into the world next month. So are you absolutely hyped at this point? It's right around the corner.
Yeah, definitely. I am, because we've been sitting on it for a while, so I'm ready for everyone to give their feedback on it and let us know what they think about it, positive or negative. So we are ready to get that out there and just see what everyone thinks.
Right, I mean, this really serves as your eighth studio record. So having eight albums, does that number out loud sound a little crazy or surreal at this point? Or you're like, nope, we're just gonna keep plugging them, keep putting them out.
Yeah, I mean, once I like really sit down and think about it, I definitely think to myself like, wow, I can't believe it's been this long and that we've been doing it this long. And 8 albums in 15 years is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It's it's like almost been every 2 years. So it would be nice to be able to sit on an album for a while and just the catalog that you have. But um, I would love to release an album like every 5 years or something. Just to be able to work on it more.
Hmm.
But uh, yeah, we're just, I guess, album machines at this point.
Really are, but I mean, if the creative juices are flowing and the tracks sound this good, why not put them out that frequently?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, we're happy to put it out, that's for sure. And of course, being in a band, you get I'm proud of everything that we've done, but you get kind of bored of the music that you've written that's been out for years. I mean, you just want to do something new. So this is it just, I don't know, it just works really well for us this way.
And when it comes to the new, we are of course just jamming Lost Boy, one of the newest singles. And to me, my personal take on it just kind of feels like someone who's over another person's negativity and toxic ways. Just my interpretation of it, though. So I'd love to know how the idea for the song came about and just its significance to you.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point, is for people to relate to it in their own way.
Of course.
But the way that I'm portraying it is it's basically a yin and yang, evil self kind of thing, battling with my
Okay.
own self in my head, because the whole story is like kind of out there. It's weird. It's a non-fictional take, uh, or a fictional take on a non-fictional story. Um, so it's basically it's chapter two of our last album, The Valley, and uh, my evil self has followed me out and manifested itself and follows me out to drag me back to the valley to stay there. And but but in reality it's all just me in my head, but I'm manifesting it into an actual story for the sake of
Right.
storytelling and just a weird take on it.
I hope conceptually at some point the two are able to divide, and
Mhm.
you'll have that freedom away from that other negative crazy creature.
Yeah, exactly.
And something neat that I saw recently is that fans can pre-order the album on a ridiculous amount of different colored pressed vinyl. Like they look stunning. So are you a huge vinyl lover yourself?
Personally, I've never really been a vinyl person. I like to have them, but I mean, I don't have like a record player or anything like that. I've never been like one of those people that collects vinyl.
Okay.
But I definitely understand the people that do. It's just never been something that I've done. Uh, yeah, I don't know why. I just never really did. I was always like a cassette tape and CD person.
CDs, yep. That's where it
Yeah,
was at for me, definitely.
yeah.
Well, since you don't collect vinyl, is there anything that you do happen to collect? It can be anything.
Mm, I mean, not really. I mean, I've never been a collector. I don't, like baseball cards or anything like that. I've never been much of a collector. I don't know. Yeah, nothing really specific. Which maybe I don't know. I don't know if that's normal or if it's makes me boring or whatnot. But
No, I mean you've collected 8 great Whitechapel records, so we'll put that on there, and
yeah,
we'll,
sure.
we'll
We'll
leave
we'll
it
go
at
with
that.
that. Yeah.
Well, of course, we've been discussing your music and what's on the horizon, but the last thing I wanted to ask you about is kind of just taking it back to the start. Who were some of the bands that got you into the metal scene just in the first place? Some of those earliest memories.
Well, I'd say my gateway band was a pretty typical one, which was Metallica. Back in the early '90s when they came out with the Black Album,
Mhm.
and then it slowly started to get heavier than that with Pantera. Um, Cannibal Corpse was the one that got me into like the most extreme,
Yeah,
crazy
that's the
stuff.
shift.
Yeah, yeah. So and like Guar was another one. But I
Awesome.
went through my punk rock phase. I still love punk rock to this day, like skater punk kind of stuff. Uh, but yeah, I mean, metal is just what stuck with me the most. I just enjoy the heavier stuff. But yeah, that and like Slipknot kind of came into play eventually in my like middle school years. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much where it all started. But with Metallica was the ultimate like introduction to like metal music, I guess.
Right. I feel like that's such a popular one, but I mean, it makes sense. That's such an iconic record at that time. It still is
Oh
to this
yeah.
day, obviously, as we're celebrating 30 years of it now. So definitely
Mm-hmm.
one that kind of opened the doors for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. But Phil, I want to say thank you very, very much for coming on and shooting the breeze. I'm so happy we got to learn a little bit more about the record, what's on the horizon, and just a little bit of what you've been up to. So we really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.